Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings 3, where you'll notice things are looking a little bit different. Specifically things like this, and tooltips. The reason for that, of course, is because we are currently in debug mode. And the reason that we're in debug mode is I want to do a little bit of mechanical exploration here. I want to know exactly how these succession mechanics work. And we'll see if we manage to figure it out or not, but I figured, I don't usually do this, but I figured that I would show exactly the process that I use for determining this sort of thing. So we're here in debug mode. The one thing you will not be seeing is us going into the save game menu and saving any of this. This is all non-canon, exploring timelines, but we may revert back to this at a time or two in the future. Now this war is happening, we don't care, it's irrelevant. We'll deal with that in the real timeline. But the first thing I wanted to discuss, of course, is our succession. Now, we're in a situation right now where we have two kingdoms. Specifically, we have, if we go into the kingdom titles here, we have the Kingdom of Air, although we only have part of it, and we have the Kingdom of Not Air. And then we have this little bit of Canaan over here, but we don't have all of Canaan. Now, we don't have an Empire title. How close are we to an Empire title? We're a really long ways away from being able to create Canaan Bornu. We're even further away from being able to make Maghreb, and even further away yet from, or about the same actually, from making the Empire of Guinea. So we're a really long ways from making a de jure empire. The question may be asked, well, what about making a custom empire? Well, yeah, theoretically, but we're nowhere near the realm size needed for that. It would be easier to make a de jure empire, and that's probably going to be what we're going to end up doing. However, without holding kingdom titles, successions, or rather without holding empire titles, successions become really awkward because kings will be independent. So the question was asked, what happens if we just destroy the Kingdom of Not Air? Now, I know that it does create some titles, so we're going to take a look at that here. I believe that it will create the title of Kingdom of Not Air in order to hand it out, but we're going to need to actually pop open the debug menu, which is tilde and is not usually available in Crusader Kings 3 unless you're in debug mode, and we're going to grab ourselves some prestige here just to be able to play around with. Again, this will all be reverted. I just want to know how these mechanics work. So we're going to go to the Kingdom of Not Air. This is going to make some people angry, but we're going to destroy this title. That costs 800 prestige. Okay, fine. Now, that is destroyed, and the question is, what did that do to our succession? So, we currently get the Grand Emirate of Air, and the... Actually, you know what? Let's do something a little bit more drastic here. A little more dramatic. We're going to make somebody kill us. This is, again, a debug interaction. We have died. Okay, so we can see here exactly what happened. And this is interesting. Not Air did become independent. Fascinating. So Not Air becomes independent like this. This is pretty easily conquerable in theory. We'd want to declare on this guy. Our armies are currently raised, of course. They're up here. I don't think we can use a debug method to disband these, unfortunately. But regardless, this is fascinating. Now, these are being held all by this guy. And we'd want to take that away from him. We could do that. So our first priority would be getting Not Air back into the kingdom. And you can see here that he did indeed inherit the Grand Emirate of Not Air, which we just destroyed. So let's revert this back to this one, I believe. Yes, this invalid checksum for achievements. That is because we are in debug mode right now. And because we're not editing this, that won't change. Now we're going to die again here and see if that changed anything at all. So we're just going to die. It changed a little bit, actually. We kept this county of Yari within our realm. I highly doubt that's worth giving up 800 prestige for a single county. All things considered, this isn't that bad. It really isn't. I don't hate this. I was expecting the succession to be substantially worse, but seeing it like this is much easier for me to see than in that long list of all the different things. So this is just an easier way for me to visualize what this succession will look like. So giving away this duchy hurts, there's no doubt about that. However, we could in theory take this back, and hypothetically it would be like taking the emirate here. He has a 50% chance as is. Yes, an act of tyranny, but that would be acceptable. Okay, I think this is completely fine. All I wanted to do was visualize what this would look like, and I thought that we'd have to play around with this a little bit more to find something that would be acceptable, but honestly, I feel like it's acceptable as is. Giving up one county for 800 prestige, considering it costs 75 to conquer a county, let alone that we would have claims on this, and in theory, we would be able to... Can we, like, force end this war? Actually, we can in the debug mode. We could go into here and quick imprison this guy, I think. Yes. So we could do that. That would force end this war. Again, we're not going to keep it like this. We're not the war leader. So we would have to tick forward until the war ended. I don't care. This is irrelevant. Okay, the war is over. We disband this. And then what I wanted to do is see what options we had here. So we would be able to seize a de jure chiefdom. We could do a debug war, but that's not something we'll actually be able to. A subjugation would only cost 750. And that would probably be what we'd want to do. Or we could push these separate claims. Actually, this guy has full claims. That would cost 1,000, though. It would actually be cheaper to subjugate him. Or we could do a kingdom invasion. That is also an option, but that would be 2,000. Okay. That is, I think, something that we can deal with a little bit later on. So I'm going to exit here. We don't want to save that with an autosave. And I'm going to, if we hop into display capture here, we can go into the properties and remove the debug mode. Okay, we didn't make any saves, so there were no changes there. Let's just fire this right back up, resume that, and let's hop back into game mode. Hopefully, OBS picks it up. Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. So we made no changes. That was just exploring our succession options, and honestly, I didn't expect our succession options to look as good as they do. Now, they might change, but I don't actually plan on doing any more conquest in this guy's lifespan. So, with that in mind, I don't think that we care about keeping up our prestige. I think we go ahead and do some investment over here, because we do keep this. Okay, we've got that fine. We can grab war camps over here. That'll be okay. That'll be a nice investment into the future. And now we are back in our proper timeline, just to know. Things matter again. I just wanted to do that quick visual exploration of what this succession looks like, and it's really not that bad. We're not going to be able to keep this from leaving the realm, right? That's all there is to it. We could become reclusive. I think we'll just continue with the cakes, though. We can actually consume more, and that'll bring us down the level of stress. Fantastic. Okay, so there's that. This war will be over quite soon. In fact, I think we're just going to head home. Let's get out of here. In fact, hang on. They have an army right here. We should go fight them. And that's what we're going to do. But yeah, I really didn't expect that succession to end up looking like that. That was a little surprising, but without an empire title, we're not going to keep everything in the realm. We'll just have to put it back together a little bit, but that's not as bad as expected. Now, our troop count isn't going to look great. We're going to have to do some internal realm work. We're going to have to do some conquering. That's all expected, though. So that's absolutely fine. I don't mind that in the slightest. Let's wrap this up. This should end this war. In theory, anyway. Yep. Fantastic. We'll wait for this guy to offer. Okay, we're at death's doorstep right now. I'm not too surprised by that. Oh, it's because we're obese. I didn't realize we were obese. I don't mind this guy dying right now, though. We know that this succession is not the worst. An instant call to war. I think she's fine. We'll accept that. We're not going to participate. We know we're going to die, and we know that's going to cause issues. But they're not literally the worst issues. I have a weird question. What is our current focus here? Diplomacy. That's actually perfect. Yes. I should have checked that earlier, but diplomacy focus is ideal. Okay. So, I mean, we're going to have some control issues. That's for sure. But I do not mind a death here. Especially considering we're going to be 13, so we should have a good long life ahead of us. Just waiting to die at this point. Our health is poor because we're obese, and that's okay. I mean, I suppose we could attempt suicide. It's not the necessarily best idea. Yeah, all vassals would lose opinion of us, and that'll affect the opinion of predecessor. And we're still shy. Is our child shy? He has a lisp currently. Okay, fair enough. That's okay. The realm will lose land when a vassal dies. I mean... Oh, that's not ideal. For sure. We could get away with imprisoning this guy, potentially. I would prefer to revoke his title. He's a known criminal. He would not accept this, and he would rebel. And I'm okay with that. Okay. So he declared. I don't think anyone went with him, though. And that's what's important here. We can crush him super quickly, get him out of there, and deal with that issue. Where's our green? Oh, it should be over here. Yeah, that's fine. So we will go ahead and put up our army here. That's a neutral army. And honestly, I don't think we need any more than just our men-at-arms. Now, we've already maxed our men-at-arms, right? Or very close to it. Yeah, they're currently maxed. That's ideal. Okay, this guy joined the war. We don't care. We can do that. We're going to go ahead and station besiegers there. And we're going to see if we can chase down these guys. I kind of doubt it, but we'll see what we get. They just went over here. Now that's fascinating. We do catch them. Okay, that's great. We will absolutely win this. Do we have a leader here? Yes, we do. Sounds great. In we go, and we'll defeat this guy. And I suppose we could start sieging his capital. Why not? Excellent. He may stop retreating here, too. Ah, shattered retreat. Fair enough. Well, we're going to finish up our siege momentarily, and that will probably end this war, or very close to it. There's no way we're going to assault here. This is a terrible idea to assault. However, we're going to raise up some troops up here and deal with these raiders. These are going to be levy troops, so we're going to need a bunch of them. There's no doubt about that. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2... Just go ahead and head up here as soon as you're done. Yeah. We'll get up there, and we'll fight them off. They didn't even finish their raid, so that's perfect. Okay, there's this war done. We'll enforce the demands. This guy's imprisoned, so we will revoke his title. He's a known criminal, so no one cares. That's perfect. And we're going to go ahead and grant this off to another person. This guy should be fine in theory. Perfect. Much better. I'd rather control this myself anyway. And we're going to want to give away Kebi too, as soon as we can. That won't be until next life, though. So let's go ahead and put down our troops as soon as we can. We're waiting on these raiders to leave. Sad. Well, we'll come north with these guys. And then we'll disband and disband. Perfect. We can do constructions over here. We now have control over all of these. Ideally, we want to give away Kebi and then take back one of these, but that's okay for now. I'm a little surprised we're still alive, considering that we're still in poor health. We're 63. We'll die soon. Oh, I forgot about these guys, didn't I? Yes, I did. Are you planning on raiding me, sir? No. No, he is not. That's completely fine. Excellent. So we need to work on control over here for sure. There's no doubt about that. And conversions and all that jazz. In fact, we should probably... If we change this, do we lose this progress? I suspect that we do. Yeah, I think we do. Smallpox? Okay. We'll throw him out. Wonderful. So we definitely want to check in up here. Yeah, these are all level 1 structures. Our control up here is not great. That's for sure. But we're going to have Bornu as our capital for a while. Okay, smallpox is over already. That wasn't bad. Again, I wouldn't mind dying. Now we've changed things around a little bit, so we expect the succession to be slightly different. But honestly, it won't be that bad, I don't think. The only thing that we'll actually end up losing is the Grand Emirate of Not Air, but some of these appear to get divided up. I mean, that would hurt to lose that entire chunk. That's for sure. Hang on a moment. I didn't realize this was here. Uh-huh. Scandinavian elective can nominate a title heir, blah, 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 blah. Voting power in this succession law is influenced by the elector's total domain development. Okay. And Saxon elective, the ruler and all direct adult de jure vassals of 1 or 2 ranks below the title can nominate a title heir from the most powerful vassal amongst them, the ruler's legitimate children, and any other valid claimant. Now, we don't have the prestige to pull this off currently. We could get it, though. Vassals will tend to favor older, distant relatives, but that's okay. As long as they're of our house. Fascinating. I knew it must be here somewhere. Okay, so in the Grand Emirate of Air, the current law is, of course, that we're in... Our succession is what it is, right? But what we want to do is we want to get both of these to have the same heir. That is the ideal scenario. And I think we can. Let's host a feast. We'll not lose stress since we're shy, but we're doing it for the prestige. Welcome, friends. Hopefully we don't die between now and then. That would be awkward. Yes, I have done a great job, haven't I? That puts us up to 1482. Next month tick. Peasant rabble. Okay. We'll gain 75 prestige. Okay, so that means that we can switch this over to elective monarchy. Now, that's not necessarily what we want later, but temporarily... Okay, and we could also change the male preference, but that's not super important right now. We need to decide if we want Saxon, Scandinavian, or Tanistry elective, and I think that Tanistry is probably what we want. We don't necessarily want powerful vassals. This is... can nominate a title heir amongst the ruler's extended family and any available claimants. Okay. influenced by the elector's total domain development and capital popular opinion. Oh, we have to be the North Germanic culture group for that. And we have to be Anglo-Saxon for this, and we have to be... Okay, so we don't have the culture group. Okay, so we can't actually do this. Never mind! Sad. That's reliant on specific culture groups. Noted, that makes sense. It was kind of weird that it wouldn't work that way in CK2. So I get it, but even so. So this doesn't really change anything then. Okay, we're going to go ahead and upgrade our markets here. That'll be fine. And can we upgrade markets? How much does that cost to upgrade? 110? Sure. So at this point, we're mostly just going to chill until we die. And then we'll rearrange the realm after we're dead. We're going to need to move our capital. That's 100% guaranteed. We just gained a stress level. That's okay. We need a new chancellor. This guy has skill 22 marshal. She is not a powerful vassal. We'll put this guy in here. And then we'll put in this guy into our chancellor position. He's not very good at the job, but that's okay. We'll have him work on domestic affairs. Okay. Excellent. So we're going to have to deal with this peasant rabble. I mean, they're not a big problem. So that's something that we can work on in a little bit. But increasing our martial skill will mean that we're gaining a lot more control over here. That's actually coming up very, very quickly. 1.2 per month. Very nice. Our popular opinion here isn't great. We need to change our culture and our religion, of course. We need to think about when we want to adopt Islam. I think not yet. We want to solidify a little bit more before we adopt Islam. Okay, there's our death. So, let's see. This is exactly what we expected right here. Great. Okay, so we lost access to these. We have no lifestyle. We definitely want to go diplomacy education. And we want to go majesty focus here. Okay. We do need a spouse here. And we want to go for alliance power. You're delicate. Oh, wait. We're not paused? We should be paused. So be it. Okay. We want to go for alliance power. Kingdom of Yoruba land isn't a terrible one. No, we want to be paused. Are we paused? We're paused. Okay. So, Kingdom of Yoruba land is a decent option. There's no good congenital traits here, sadly. Wheezing, hunchbacked, arrogant. Wait, arrogant is congenital? No, it's not. No, it is not. I think we're just going to go for this person. Yeah, we may inherit the lisp, but we'll probably work that out eventually. Okay. We'll do that. We need a chancellor. And you're it. We need a marshal. You would actually be a great spy master. Steward. Not great. Not great at all. Okay. And we need a marshal. And we're going to go for a powerful vassal here for now. However, would you be better off? He might be, but I don't think we can do that right now. Okay, so we're going to need to do some restructuring here, right? We're currently at 3 of 4. We lost a lot of soldiers. We're going to need to attack Not Air and get that back into the fold. Now, this is currently our uncle. He's not very powerful. So, the question is, who inherits this? Our cousin and then us. We could look to murder our cousin. Only a 7% chance of success. Sure. Or we could conquer it. That's the other option. Now, I do want to put this duchy back together over here. I want to move our capital to Bornu. Now, in order to do this, we're going to need to take this away from this guy. So we would revoke the chiefdom of Bornu. Now, this would be an act of tyranny. He's not going to be into this, and he'll rise up in rebellion with other disgruntled vassals. Who is currently considered disgruntled? There are definitely some of them. Okay. That's definitely something to consider. Now, we do have this holding here. And for now, we're going to move our control growth over to here. No point in working on that for now. We'll leave these where they are, but we'll move them soon enough. Zazao will keep, but we don't want to hold that permanently. Same with Kebi, honestly. We'll keep that, but we don't want to hold it permanently. Our control there is maxed, which is good. Question is, do we want to declare on this guy immediately? We could seize this de jure chiefdom, or we could do a duchy conquer. Or we could just press this guy's claims. Now, that would push us down a level of fame. And we might be okay with that. This would get us all of this territory back into the realm. I'm assuming this guy has no allies. Correct, currently. I think we're okay with pushing down into Disgraced. We don't want to do a subjugation. We want to push this guy's claims. Yeah, we'd take a 2,000 fame penalty, but that's okay. So we'll declare that. It is definitely risky. This guy's army is already up and walking in over here. That's fine. Now, we have our men-at-arms fully maxed out as is. So that's great. And we're going to bring in our rally point over to here. We'll raise our troops. And then we'll raise any levy troops. Where's our red rally point at? I don't actually know off the top of my head, so we will grab... Oh, we don't have one. We'll go ahead and create a new red rally point. This is not a red one, but it'll do the same thing. And we will raise these troops over here. Okay. We'll wait to see if this guy stops moving or if he locks in. He stopped. Yes, we lost a level of fame. Our dishonor does indeed come at a cost. This is expected. We can call on our ally here. We're not going to. We're going to get started on the siege over here. But hopefully we capture him. That would be the ideal scenario. We did! Perfect. So we're going to enforce this. I should have thought of that. I absolutely should have thought of that. That was a huge mistake. Of course he wouldn't come into our territory. Of course he wouldn't. It makes complete sense. I'm a moron for thinking that he would. But that's okay. We got him in there. And I suppose we could do a kingdom invade, but that would be a terrible idea. That was a big prestige hit. That was a huge, huge mistake. That said, was it? Did that put us in a better position? Not exactly. Okay. Not exactly at all. Yeah, that was a big, big mistake. I think we're still okay, to be clear. But I shouldn't have declared that, as it was. Because of course the kingdom would just go to this guy then. I suppose we could offer him vassalage, but he's never going to accept that. In fact, we can't, because we don't have a higher title than him. Ah, but we're his heir. He has no children. That is an option, then. And we have 43% chance of killing him. I like it. Okay, that was actually beneficial then, in some weird way. If we go in here, we can invite additional people in here. This guy could be convinced, so we would send him a gift. except we need to do it via that tool, or just wait for him to accept it. Okay, so at this point, we can invite this guy in. Can be convinced. Okay, so we'll bribe him in. I made another mistake there, but we'll bribe her in as well. Okay, so that'll get us a few additional agents. Bring us up to 95 and 95. Fantastic. So this should now come under our control within 9 months. Perfect. Magnificent. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we'll get Not Air back into the fold. And in the meantime, we will work on digging ourselves out of this prestige hole, as well as getting ourselves a situation where we can restructure this a little bit, because it needs to be restructured. We're not going to be looking to expand for a little while. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.